Welcome to Bridging the Gap. We got another episode. Today we're going to be talking about school and how exciting that is to start back for everybody. So we have Brittany Washington. We have
Hey
Fallon.
everybody.
Yeah, there you go. And then we have Fallon.
Hey everyone.
And then we have Zoe.
Hey.
Obviously, I'm the only guy in this group. My name is Kevin. so,
Yeah.
how's everybody? How's everybody's thoughts about getting back into school and getting your all's minds back off of summer into the school room? Brittany, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm a little nervous. I'm starting grad school this semester, so don't really know what to expect. I just know to submit the assignments on time.
Yeah.
But as far as everything else, I'm just ready for my school career to be over and actually in a career that I enjoy and can make the money off of the things that I enjoy doing and to be able to help the people.
I'm kind of in the same situation as I'm in the same situation as Brittany is. I'm starting my grad school in the fall also. And I'm trying to get in that mode of school still. I have another week left before I start. So just trying to, start waking up early, getting everything situated.
Zoe.
Yeah, I'd like to tell myself I'm gonna get into a routine, but I'm not. I'm just gonna wing it. I'm not that nervous because I've done like 4 semesters here, but I have an all online class, which I'm not really excited about because I get distracted and I don't do as well on the assignments and stuff. I like to have a professor like to ask questions to and stuff like that, but I'm actually pretty excited.
That's good. That's good. I'm actually taking this semester off. I needed a break. So, really honestly, I'm just gonna gear up for Bridging the Gap and focus on coaching. When do we start? Next month?
Yeah, at the end of September.
Yeah, so next month, and then again, my summer basketball team will kind of get going back soon too. So I just needed just one little break, and then I will take a bunch of classes for my for my spring semester. I'm still like way ahead of the game as far as grade wise. I'm young to be like a senior this year, so I have a little bit of time to, I can afford, if you will, to take a break. So I think it's important to just kind of check over the mental health stuff and focus on the stuff that you need to focus on first. And I'll just save up some cash too, because college is kind of expensive. So Brittany, obviously before this you had a bunch of questions. So I'll let you go.
So and speaking of, Kev, I just want to piggyback off of what you were saying about taking a break and how important it is to your mental health to sometimes take a step back to check in with self to see how self is doing during the school process. I think that a lot of students get in college and they think that it's just straight out your 4 years and then you're done. But the reality is sometimes some people need to take a break. I took a break for 5 years. So for you to just take a break off of a semester, don't feel bad about it at all. During that 5 years, I gained so much entrepreneur, business savviness and information and knowledge just off of my time being out of school that helped me become more successful in my school journey. Whenever I took a break from school, my GPA was I think a 2.5. But when I was able to come back and I was more focused and I really had to invest that money out of my own pocket, about $10,000, I ended up wrapping up my undergrad with a 4.0 GPA because I took that time to have that mental break to have gain some life skills and life knowledge. So college is about really moving at your own pace. It's not keeping up with anybody else, it's keeping up with yourself. What can you manage? How can you manage your mental health? How can you manage your finances with going through college? And I think that that's something that's not taught to us. It's kind of like you just go to school and then that's it. Everything will always be okay. Your finances will always be okay. You know, you'll still have your parents here with you. Although some people, they go through grief in college. And we see that the suicide rate amongst college students are increasing because sometimes they just don't have the support emotionally or financially. So I want to ask, who I want to pick? I think I'm gonna go with Big Zoe. Zoe, how do you feel like you manage your mental health while being in school?
Um, let me see. I try to like hang out with friends some and not just like isolate myself and only work on school all the time. I like to ask other people if they want to like study together, because if I'm just by myself, then I get really distracted, like I said earlier, and I can't do it. Um, I also need a lot of sleep, so I just sleep a lot, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, same.
All right. Shout out to the sleepers. Sleep and rest is essential, definitely. So, Fallon, with you going into grad school, into the LPC program, and you not playing sports anymore, how do you see that balance working out for you during this semester?
Okay, so when you brought up the question of how we're dealing with stress, I was thinking back to my undergraduate years, and most of the time I was so busy I didn't really have time to stress out. And when I
Yeah.
was stressed, I was usually, I had 30-minute break and I'm going to softball practice, or I have a game to travel to. So, that softball kind of took the place of a lot of that stuff and kind of added something in my life that was, at least getting out there and doing like exercise, and that pumps up your endorphins and everything. So now transitioning into the grad school, I'm trying to, and it's online, so that's a little bit different. Also, I'm not going out and interacting with people in real life, like it's on a screen. So that's going to be different too. Like I'm really going to have to probably branch out and go do stuff, and find some people to meet up with, maybe do a study group or something like that. But definitely going to take in all the coping strategies for this semester.
Definitely. So, and for those that don't know, what does LPC stand for?
Licensed professional counselor.
Okay, cool deal. So, Rev Kev, with you taking a semester off after going into college and playing sports straight out of high school, how do you feel like this break will affect you or help you in the long run in getting back into the groove of school?
Dang, Brittany. um, yeah, coming like okay, so like coming out of high school, with me going so far away, um, like what found so you kind of really don't have time because like being like a freshman athlete like 5 hours away is like really difficult. So I think I dealt with the mental health stress a little better, like because like well I learned more about myself leaving, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now then I'm taking that break, I'll still be at the house. So I think it really won't be that bad, honestly. Um just really honestly, it's probably the getting back to school part for the spring semester. That's probably be the hardest thing when it gets there because like when you take that break off, you have a job or you're coaching or whatever, you kind of get complacent. And then going back into school, like you because now I don't have homework. I don't have to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to do some of these things, but the spring, when I go back, I'm gonna have to do all those things. So really probably just getting back into that groove is gonna be the hardest thing, not probably anything like in the now, but just that spring semester is gonna probably kill me. So I'll probably just end up luckily I have a bunch of kids depending on me. You know what I mean? Me and Fallon coaching. You know, there's about like 20 kids with my mom's team and our. Well, I get like 30 because we coach 2 teams. So I'll have them to depend on me, and then really this group. You know what I mean? So I really won't be alone necessarily. And I know if I have any questions, I can reach out to y'all, or if I want to go shoot one of the kids, you know, whatever, I'll probably deal with it that way. Not that I'm not playing basketball, not that I'm coaching, and I'm still around the game, so I could still like figure out something to do. You know, I'm just on a different team now instead of actually playing. You know, so
Yeah,
hope that answers
okay.
the question.
You know, I'm coming with that heat. So overall, and I'll let whoever answer this question, overall, how do you feel like your peers that didn't go to school and your family could have better supported you or could better support you even now in your college career? Oh, y'all scared? Oh
I
no,
mean, I
don't
feel
be
like my parents are doing a pretty good job of like encouraging me and like saying that they're proud of me. And I'm used to that because they always said that to me growing up. And it just feels good to have that like words of affirmation. I guess it's kind of like my love language, but it's nice to have them like always wanting to call me and stuff. I'm only like 30 minutes away from them, so it's not too bad. But I feel like they do a really good job of supporting me. My whole family does, really.
I'm kind of in the same
that's
situation.
what's up.
Really supportive parents, and I also had financially I was relying on athletic scholarship, so that really helped throughout my undergrad. Now that I'm moving into graduate school, we're having to figure out a little bit of other stuff financially, but they've always supported me with whatever I wanted to do. If I wanted to go to school for 10 more years, they would support me through that. So really for the peer part though, is like finding people that will help you in your school and your personal life, not just one or the other. You got to find people that are compatible both ways, whether that be a friend that doesn't even go to school. Like me and Kevin like always helped each other with schoolwork. Like when we were before Bridging the Gap started and everything, we would help each other. And if he had an essay that he was stumped on, I'd help him. If I had like a civil rights question, he would help me. So like finding someone that would help you in your personal life and your academic life is very important.
Definitely, I agree.
Okay.
Rev Kev?
Okay, so sorry, it was a solar power like energy guy that came to the door. So I was trying to get him out. Okay, so what was the question? Can you repeat the question one more time?
So how do you feel that some of your peers that didn't go off to school or go to school at all, go to college, or your family, how do you feel that they could better support you or could have better supported you in your college career?
Probably more on the like the support soft side of things, because sometimes like when your parents don't finish school or like your friends, they get jealous or like they want to push you, so they like kind of show you that tough love maybe.
Mm,
Maybe like because like grandma, like the other day, she was like, hey, you got to get back into school, you got to do this, but sometimes like it's hard, like what I mean, like get back in that, like, and they want the best, they want what's best for you, but sometimes like they don't understand like what we go through, and that it's a different time now, and like we're kind of taught more to deal with our problems and stuff like that, and like really like talk it out. So sometimes you need that break. Back more in the 70s, 60s, 80s, you just kind of went with it and didn't stop. So probably more on the support side. If you and even like with friends who didn't go to school, like I would try to motivate them to like find like a trade school, like find something to do, because because you don't really like, not you don't need college, but there's other things to get where you want without a college degree.
Yeah,
right.
So really just we would kind of feedback on each other, like say if I had a friend who didn't go to school, I would be like, man, to see you when I want to support you, I want to see you go to a trade school. My friends would reply with, I want to see you finish college or whatever. So maybe just really just like really just being a little more nicer, I guess, and more understanding, I guess is what I'm trying to say. More understanding, for sure.
I think for me, it would be to, or have been, I would have liked my childhood friends to have been more supportive, to call more. I know that a lot of times, we all get caught up in our own personal lives, but I think it's very important for everybody that you have a connection with at some point. Either you contact them or they contact you, but it have to be a two-way street. I don't think that they understand how heavy the workload or the mental stress gets while you're in school, especially if you're trying to balance things like being a college athlete or like working while you're going to school. I don't think that they understand that that balance sometimes interferes with social life. It's not that you don't want to hang out, but you have to put your priorities first, but also creating that balance in life where you still have a little bit of each thing, because you have to feed different elements of your, whether there be a spiritual element, your mental element, your physical, getting physical, exercising, even if it's just taking a 30-minute break to go outside and get some air to walk around in between homework assignments, or just checking in mentally, utilizing the resources on college campuses, because like I tell you guys on the team, utilize those services for counseling or therapy. Even if you feel like, oh, I'm not crazy, therapy is for people to keep them from going crazy. It's not just for people who have mental health issues. It's helping you take a ball of a yarn that's tangled up, to be able to wrap it back up and be able to have a neat design, to help you navigate and think better in life. If you're already in college, realistically you're paying for it in your tuition anyway. So go and take advantage of these things, these services that they are charging you for. Um, it was hard for me to go back home after college, or just even on the weekend, from playing volleyball to being able to not be on the road for 3 months in a row, and then go back home to some of my childhood friends that they didn't have high school diplomas, so they didn't is they was allotted the same opportunities, but however they just chose a different route in life. And coming back and being excited to see them after being away from home for 3 months, and the first thing that you hear is, oh, you think you better than everybody else because you went to college. That really hurt me on a deeper level, because it was just like, man, I'm just trying to be out here getting it. Like, I just want a better life. I want more than what the statistics said that I could have. So I feel punished for coming home and being an example of what excelling looks like. So that was a harsh reality to learn, that my new college friends were my new friends. Even though you miss your old friends and you want that support, that peer support, sometimes I feel like jealousy do come into the picture. But it's not like everybody can't live their life or go get a trade. Sometimes going to get a trade pays off more than going to college and getting a degree, because you're not putting yourself in debt, but you're actually going out to get a trade to make more money sometimes than people that hold degrees on a PhD level, especially like, the difference of someone with a PhD in psychology, they make less than people that do plumbing. Then that's something that's not talked about. So I think that even on a high school level, I think that educators should start promoting trades just like they're promoting four-year universities, HBCUs, because they're just as important as going to get your PhD. So
Oh, I want to ask
do
everybody.
you guys have
Oh,
any
go ahead,
questions
baby.
that you No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was about to ask, it just came to my head. What would y'all's advice be to a incoming freshman, athlete or not? What would y'all's advice be?
Oh, that's a great question, Kev.
I
I'll
I
let one
would
of
say
the other two.
don't be too hard on yourself, because I mean, depending on what high school you went to, sometimes they're harsher on you, sometimes they're not. So sometimes people like aren't as prepared as others and feel a lot of pressure and are really hard on themselves, like I kind of was. But I just say do what you can and don't feel bad. Like if you think something's too much for you, like maybe just start out slow and easy.
My advice would be to take it slow. Going into your freshman year, everything hits you like that, and it feels like it's moving 100 miles an hour. So like take it slow. It's not going as fast as you think it is. And like for me, my freshman year was pretty bad grade wise for me because I didn't take it slow. So I ended up with a really good GPA despite my freshman year. So don't let your freshman year dictate the rest of your college career. Don't think, oh, I can't, because you didn't have a good first semester or second semester, because I didn't, but I finished with, and I ended up really loving college. So don't give up on college just because you didn't, or you, however your freshman year goes, just stay strong, and you always believe that you can do it.
Oh, that's a tough act to follow, Fallon. As always. So my best advice, outside of what the other ladies have said, is understand time management. College is not as scary as people make it seem. Especially, I know people can make your anxiety just run like a bad toddler, like through the house that's hyped up on sugar. But college is not bad. College is about turning in the assignment and turning it on time. Utilize the resources that are given to you. If you don't know where something is, go to your business service office on campus, go to your advisors on campus, find out, where's the counseling center on campus. Find out, how do I sign up for tutoring? Tutoring is for anybody that's paying for it, and you're paying for it in your tuition. So utilize tutoring. Don't be afraid to. Okay, here's another good gem that I learned as a freshman. Sit in a T zone. So it's usually the first two rows in class and the first few rows up the middle. Those are usually the seats that your professors will pay more attention to during the lecture. So if you're sitting in the T zone and you're raising your hand and you asking questions, if you are short a few points, and this has never failed me in my college career, if you are short a few points and you build a rapport with your professor, I promise you, they will allow you the opportunity of grace on a few points to get you to pass that class, because they see that you're taking initiative into your education. So that's my little tidbit.
That was great. Mine would be from an athlete's perspective. I would say, man, that's a tough. I asked y'all the question. I don't even know. My advice would be to lock in with your professors and really hone in on whatever you came there for. So if you want to be a psychologist or got a psychologist, like you want to be a great psychologist, do that. You want to be an education major, really focus on being like, find mentors and internships and try to find different things. And remember your why. Remember why you're there. Like if you're playing basketball, be a great basketball player, be a great student. You don't have to go to parties, chase girls, chase boys, whatever. That's where I think that's where people get kind of confused at, because like you're free and they forget about they forget why they're there. So really,
Yeah.
like, really just like, take, like, don't go to parties, don't try to chase the girls or the boys or whatever. Like, don't do that necessarily right when you get there, because like college does go a little faster than high school, the pace was, and like the teacher aren't gonna be like, hey, Brittany, you didn't turn this assignment in, and so you didn't, they're not gonna chase you down for it. And if if you forget, it's over with. You know what I mean? So really, like whatever kind of everybody in a nutshell, just be smart, take it slow. Really as an athlete, because you have to maintain that grade average or you won't play at all. You know what I mean? And then it's a mess, seeing some of my teammates go through that. So really just staying true to what you're doing, remembering your why, like why you're there. So that would be probably my biggest advice for somebody who is an incoming freshman.
Oh.
Now it's recording.
I just don't even know what's going on. I still got the countdown, 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, that still says it on here, but it said recording stopped, and then when Kevin came back in here, it said recording in progress.
So
What are you supposed to do?
Do you want me to close it out? And
Can you cut this part out?
go
or
ahead
what?
and give us our CTA.
I guess we can edit it and everything, I guess.
okay.
I don't know. I thought it just ended.
No, I think it kept going.
Did y'all see? Y'all couldn't see me though, right? Did it like kick y'all
No,
out?
you like completely got out.
Yeah, you went out like I did that day when my phone overheated.
I got done talking, and then I put it back on mute, and like nobody was moving. So I was just sitting there like just smiling, waiting on somebody to like say something.
I was talking the whole time.
Oh, see, I didn't hear none of that. I was sitting there like.
But just in case y'all are still able to see this, I do want to provide y'all with the suicide hotline /helpline. The number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that number is 1-800-273-8255. Don't be
And-
afraid to use it.
And
There's somebody
also,
there
if
24
you're
hours a day.
in Oklahoma, they have a new hotline number, and it's actually just 988, and that's a mental health crisis helpline. So you can also use the number that Brittany provided, and I don't know if that's a US thing or if it's just Oklahoma, but it is 988.
It showed that for me too. So
Okay.
I think it's just a shorter number.
Gotcha,
Which
gotcha.
makes more sense. But Fallon, give the people our CTA.
Okay, so to find us on Instagram, we are at bridgingthegap_34. And on our bio in Instagram, there's a link tree where you can find all of our social medias, our website, our YouTube channel. And then our website is also on that link tree, but it is www.bridgingthegap34.com. So if you have any questions, want to reach out to us about a topic, or if you need resources, there is a comment section on our website that you can utilize.
We want to hear